Hello everyone, and welcome to another Pyro gaming video. So now that I've been able to play Destiny 2 for a little while now, I've completed the campaign mode, I've done most of the strikes, or all the strikes maybe, I don't even know honestly. I've collected a few exotics, several legendary weapons, got my light level up to about 275 at the time of recording this video, and I've even done a Nightfall and played some Crucible. I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of the direction that Bungie is heading in this game and how it compares to Destiny 2. So that's what we're going to talk about. Now, if you're afraid of spoilers, I will give you a spoiler warning if I do say any spoilers throughout the course of this video, but for the most part, I'm going to try to keep this as spoiler-free as possible. So, moving on to the actual game. So, when you play Destiny 2, much like Destiny 1 was, for you to unlock all the other activities in the game and really experience what this game is all about, you need to do two things. You need to reach level 20, and you need to complete the campaign mode. Now, if you've yet to complete the campaign, I'm going to tell you guys right now, you're only seeing about probably about a third or maybe even 25% of the actual game. Once the campaign is complete, you've reached level 20, you unlock all kinds of stuff like flashpoints, strikes, these little treasure maps that Cade 6 sells, you know, all these random side activities, more adventures, things like that. So it's really good to go ahead and try to knock that out as quickly as possible. You want to finish the campaign, you want to hit level 20. That way, as you're playing through and doing everything else, you're unlocking more activities and gaining stronger gear as you progress. So that being said, in a sense, that's kind of how Destiny 1 was set up. Only with Destiny 1, you didn't necessarily have to complete the entire campaign, which in Vanilla Destiny led and culminated to, I believe it was the Black Garden mission that was the final mission. After you beat that, not a whole lot of stuff unlocked. It was mostly based on level back then, as opposed to this one being level and campaign. So talking about the campaign, and again, I'm going to keep it spoiler-free here, but I thought that the campaign, even though it was kind of short, you know, I think it was 16, 17 missions for the actual main campaign. And of course, once you complete the campaign, there's all these missions for side quests and adventures and lost sectors and strikes and all this other stuff that you can go do. So it's definitely not a lack of content like it was in Destiny 1. But as far as the actual main campaign, the Red War campaign, I mean, just beautifully, beautifully done, especially the last 2 or 3 missions. Again, I'm going to keep this spoiler-free, but the last 2 or 3 missions were honestly some of the most fun missions that I've ever played in my entire life of playing video games. I mean, I was on the edge of my seat playing these missions, and when I finally beat it, and you get the neat little surprise after all the missions are done and you finish the campaign, I mean, it was just beautiful. I had this huge smile on my face the entire time playing through the story mode. And honestly, it reminded me a lot of old school Halo back when Bungie still made Halo. And more specifically, it reminded me a lot of Halo Reach, which was my favorite of the Halo games. In my opinion, that was the best one, with the close second being maybe Halo 2. I really enjoyed Halo 2. But the Destiny 2 campaign, to me, felt a lot like Bungie's roots. It felt like a lot like that classic Halo Bungie that we used to know and love that we didn't really have in Destiny 1 until releases like The Taken King and Rise of Iron. So for them to go back to, you know, that kind of feel, I mean, that's just fantastic, man. As far as the leveling system is concerned, I kind of expected it to be, you know, like a actual XP level being 20, you know, kind of like Destiny 1 was, and then a light level or power level in this case, again, similar to Destiny 1. So as far as that, I feel like the progression is really smooth. I feel like it's really easy to hit level 20 if you just go into patrol and go to your lost sectors, open the gold chests on each destination, and then go and do your adventures and public events. Honestly, it took me about 10 hours, maybe 11 or 12 hours to go from level 0 to level 20, and I did so without even completing the campaign yet. I think I'd only done like 2 or 3 campaign missions. So it's definitely not much of a grind. It's a very quick and painless grind, if anything. So I thought that that was good. As far as the power level, aka the light level equivalent from Destiny 1, again, I feel like it was a pretty good climb. I managed to get to 275 power relatively easily. Again, just doing patrols, opening chests, doing things like public events where they drop exotics or have a chance to drop exotics and legendaries after you've reached a level 20, and I thought that it was all really good. I thought it was really good. In addition to that, Crucible seems to give you some pretty good rewards, as does Strikes, so no complaints there. I feel like that's pretty good. As far as weapons, how they feel, how they handle, what kind of damage they do, I feel like high rate of fire pulse rifles and medium impact auto rifles are king right now, as far as PvE is concerned. The reason I say that is because, you know, I've tried pretty much every type of weapon that this game has to offer. I have several legendary variations of, you know, different archetypes of weapons, and for me, those two seem to be the best. And if it's close range, hand cannons are also really good, but hand cannons do have a very close damage drop-off, which isn't a bad thing. I know that that's oriented at Crucible, but my number one complaint with the weapons is the fact that scout rifles, to me, don't seem to do nearly enough damage. There are certain types of high-impact scout rifles that do enough damage per bullet, or the same amount of damage per bullet, as something like an auto rifle that has really high impact per bullet, and that just should not be the thing. I feel like with this new weapon system, scout rifles really need to be that, you know, bridge between what we used to call primary and special, with the special being the sniper. I want scout rifles to be essentially mini snipers in Destiny 2, obviously not dealing as much damage as an actual sniper would do, but, you know, just kind of bridge that gap, since we essentially just carry around 2 primaries now, and all of our heavy weapons from Destiny 1 are now grouped into the power slot. I find it to be very, very unfulfilling to go up against a boss and shooting him with a pulse rifle and a scout rifle, or whatever the case may be. I want to do massive amounts of damage in a short amount of time, and you can't really do that. Even with the new changes to the power ammo economy from the beta, power ammo does drop much more frequently, and I have picked up a few power weapons where if you get a kill with that weapon, you get free power ammo, which that's a really cool perk to have. But even still, I find myself running out of power ammo relatively frequently during a boss fight and not being able to find any for the rest of the fight, and just unloading on a boss with an auto rifle, and that's not fun to me. So that's my only real complaint there. I think everything else feels really good. All the weapons feel really nice. The only other thing that I would maybe say is, you know, something that needs to be worked on is the accuracy of weapons while you're in the air. I see a lot of shots, like my sights will be on his head, on an enemy's head, and those shots just aren't landing, similar to the ghost bullet thing that we had in Destiny 1 with hand cannons. But that's only when I'm in the air. When I'm on the ground, everything seems to be landing pretty good. Now, talking about Crucible, all right, I'm going to go ahead and talk about Crucible very briefly, because Crucible is going to take a month or two to really, really get a good feel for it. After everybody, you know, goes into the raid, after Trials of the Nine is live and people start playing competitive Crucible, that's when we're really going to see how broken the Crucible is, or how good the Crucible is. So, for example, right now, people don't really know what the overpowered weapons are. They don't know what the cheapest, easiest kill that they can get is going to be. And once they figure that out, because the community will, everybody will always find the cheapest, easiest possible kills to do in PvP. And once they find those and exploit it, which is going to happen, how Bungie responds to it and how soon Bungie responds to it is going to determine whether or not Destiny 2's Crucible is going to be better than Destiny 1's, or just as broken as Destiny 1. If, let's say, for example, they find an exploit with, you know, energy weapons in the Crucible, and Bungie takes 8 or 9 months to patch it like they did in Destiny 1, Destiny 2's Crucible is going to be just as shitty as Destiny 1 was. But for the most part, guys, once, like I said, Trials of the Nine, Iron Banner, all that's coming up very soon. Once all that is live and people find these exploits in the Crucible, I will do probably like a full breakdown of Crucible then, because as of right now, it's just not enough of a sample size to really get an understanding and get a feel for how it's going to play out in the long run. So guys, drop a comment in the box below. Let me know what your favorite things about Destiny 2 are compared to Destiny 1, and also let me know what your biggest complaints are in Destiny 2 as compared to Destiny 1. But that's going to bring this video to an end, guys. If you enjoyed it, click like. If you're new to the channel, click subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, I fucking love you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you again for all the support that I've had on this channel since my house flooded, and I haven't been able to upload all that often. You guys have been awesome. I really and truly do appreciate it. That's going to bring this video to an end. Thank you guys so much for watching, and take care.